Hello, this is Clara Steven. I'm presenting a research on the paradoxical effect of national diversity management. We will be looking into opportunities and challenges. I am a PhD student at Liberty University School of Behavioral Science. The content as listed begins with introduction and ends with references. Introduction of the topic. In this optimal distinctive theory, I stated that person has two fundamental competing needs. One is the need to be inclusive, and two, need to be differentiated. Now, today, in this 21st century society, individuals from different nationalities, cultures, and languages live together. Inclusion and contrast with discrimination regarding the individual, the way they are treated, either fairly, favorably, or other than belonging. And people come together to become an insider or outsider. Definition of the diversity variables that affect diversity management. We'll begin with diversity itself. Diversity encompasses a range of differences in ethnicity, gender, functionality, ability, language, religion, and some lifestyles or tenure, how long one has been together. So diversity in the workplace includes more than employees' diverse demographic background, and it takes differences in culture, intellectual capability. It takes more than demographic or ethnic diversity. Some people who have worked together for years tends to work together, and those who are new tend to stand around. So basically, it's not necessarily have to be the issue of demographic or ethnic diversity, tenure, and how long also have effect on diversity in the workplaces. Now with diversity management, leaders who wish to employ diversified employees in the workplaces, either in the leadership or in employee, has this issue of making sure or to be committed to make sure they're recruiting and to manage employees from diverse background. Human resources are most needed to be sure that the organization culture include interviewing, training, in performance appraisal, and employee development of individual in a managerial or employee in order to be competitive, to have a competitive advantage through leadership and teamwork. Organization justice is another variable that affects diversity in management. Organization justice expresses the employee perception of the way they are treated. Are they treated fairly? About the relationship, the reaction to various issues that arise within the organization. Organizational justice comprises about 4 factors that are widely acceptable model structures within the industrial organization psychology, and namely informational justice, procedural justice, interpersonal justice, and distributive justice. All of these together with the variables There's other variables within the organizational justice that affect the relationship of leader to employee and the end product of organization. Now, the factors affecting justice and interpersonal relationship, it has to do with organizational willingness to commit to job retainment, organization commitment to elevate employee in order that the company or the organization will improve in a competitive edge. Definition of variable that affect management, part 2. We'll be talking of organizational commitment. It's a system of faith and loyal commitment in a relationship where trust is social exchange is reciprocal concerning social procedural interpersonal justice and all of the justice altogether. Now, trust in the leadership style lead to employee commitment and organization citizenship. The study focus. We are going to be focusing the first one. Now, the study focus on comparative studies of different ethnicities within a country or cross-cultural comparative work spanning multiple moderating variables. Also, the study examined the relationship between multiple groups of and a membership and intersectionality group to create inclusive workplace that nurture authenticity, respect, and creative leadership, belonging, and valuing individual unique contributive ideas, skills, and experiences. Also, in the study, we examine to bridge the social capital of a cultural integration against separation. Now, the paradoxical of diversity management. The diversity management somehow is paradoxical in nature. The positive diversity management, which incorporates creativity and innovation that provide a basis for competitive advantage. On the other hand, negative diversity management causes suspicion, misunderstanding, and workplace conflict, which in turn results in employee absenteeism, poor product quality, low morale, and loss of competitive motivation. Firms seeking or the leadership organization that are seeking to increase competitive advantage, they face a paradoxical condition. Leaders who embrace diversity risk work conflict. Avoidance of diversity risk losing competitive edge. So diversity and inclusion, however self-contradictory, also lead to opportunities and challenges when managing a paradoxical situation. The diversity positively relate to creativity, organizational success, and stability. Nigel, 2005. So leadership to be ready for both competing issues or the paradoxical issues in order to maximize the positive effect and reduce the negative effect of diversity management. Now, the scriptural perspective that we are sharing today is that I once bought an attire in a store, and when I was looking through, it was written at the back of it that the mixed color of this material is not an oversight from the producer. This is to enhance the beauty of the material. The same thing I believe God was trying to show. God walked in diverse ways that we can understand. But diversity is God's revelation of beauty and the unity of global oneness in nature. When people of different culture, nation come together, they were able to collaborate into doing great things. Creativity at birth. And everybody comes with their own idea. This is God's idea, that we all need to go walk together. We are created a relational being. We need patience to understand one another. We need to learn. We need to give one another opportunity to see what we can come with when we work together. The research question. The study aimed to analyze the effect of national diversity on social adherence inequality measures to the inclusion of minority population. So the first question, do ethnic diversity and social inclusion positively affect social cohesion? 2, how does perceived management discrimination affect self-efficacy and work engagement and burnout? Research hypothesis. 1. Inclusion relationship positively relate to self-efficacy, work engagement, and employee burnout. 2. Our hypothesis. Inclusion relationship do not positively relate to self-efficacy, work engagement, and employee burnout. Non-hypothesis. Now, research method. We have two methods in order to cover all of research focus. The first one, the study design and methodology, will incorporate a data collection paradigm for measuring participant ethnic diversity. Additionally, the study will use the religious fractionalization RF to measure the vast explanatory variables precisely. The highest group score will equal significant. Explanatory variable index include inclusion of minority IM. This will enable a clear indication of a better inclusive society by nullifying the horizontal irregularities between social groups. The minority inclusive assessment data for inclusion and social engagement will be retrieved in the online Indices of Social Development database. Research method that seek to measure acculturation, the Frankfurt Acculturation Scale. The author in the study, we will be using Frankfurt Acculturation Scale designed to assess participants' acculturation style, level, and placement. The Frankfurt Acculturation Scale consisted of a 20-item self-report questionnaires, also used to evaluate the 2 dimensions of acculturation. Acculturation of individual orientation towards culture of origin or orientation towards host culture. The study examined individuals' cultural preferences while focusing on demographic of immigrants related, such acculturation as multiple language barriers. Research opportunities. The transactional patriarch construct and rhetoric strategies form the paradoxical diversity of celebrating cultural diversity, the political framework of national diversity within the national and state. Leadership development cultivates positive leadership behavior and benefits employee well-being and collaboration in diverse teams. Also, the student and employee and inclusive leader opportunity contribute to felt psychological safety, an indicator that a positive working environment is free and free of disappointment, retaliation, and unfavorable judgment from supervisors or colleagues. The three leadership styles were positively associated with inclusion, according to Pascal and Wagner, 2011. Now, the challenges of diversity. Everyone knows when you put different people working together, they are bound to have issues. But the diversity management or diversity leaders knows that some constructive issues point to the need in order to improve the organization and product. So despite its claim toward equality and inclusion, diversity management received criticism for its historical and individualized view of diversity. Instead of directly addressing the historical and material conditions that serve as the basis of inequality. There will always be inequality in life, but what we are trying, what we want to see is inclusion, giving people time, explaining things to people, respect people's culture, let people feel like an insider, not outsider. This is where the challenges comes when people feel like they do not belong. It incurs fear in reduce productivity. References follows. I have the list of references, and I want to say thank you for your time. It is my desire that the world will be a better place for each and every one of us. Amen.